The New Yam Festival is a significant cultural event celebrated in various African countries, particularly in Nigeria and Ghana. A harvest festival that marks end of the rainy season and the beginning of the harvest period. During the festival, communities come together to give thanks to gods for a bountiful harvest, pray for a prosperous farming season ahead, and celebrate the abundance of newly harvested yams. On Rendezvous tonight, we shall bring you the colorful ceremonies, traditional dances, feasting, and cultural displays that showcases the rich heritage of one of the participating communities, as WOFAF move against cultural practices that infringe on the right of women and orphans to inheritance of family property. Also on the lineup is the highlight of Wowican Convention. You will also get to see a comforting sight when popular Nollywood stars stormed Emekuku, Imo State to pay last respect to a versatile talent in the broadcasting industry. These and more on Rendezvous tonight. Good evening, happy new month, and many thanks for keeping the scheduled appointment. I am Comfort Ayim, but first, the news as usual. The construction of the Center for Experiment Learning and Innovation has been flagged off in Enugu. Chikugu reports that the center is for the training of teachers for the smart green schools, smart secondary and vocational schools in the state. The report.
The center, which comprises 25 model classrooms, ICT hub, e-library, among other high-tech sections and equipments, will serve as a training and retraining center for teachers in digital innovation, mechatronics, artificial intelligence, robotics, and other related courses. This is geared towards impacting technological knowledge on the students. Flagging off the construction, Governor Peter Mba described the project as part of his administration's vision to achieve 0% poverty headcount, upscale workforce, and build human capital.
It's about supporting children in school to learn through practice. It's about moving away from rote teaching and rote pedagogy. So it's about moving away from a scenario where teachers lecture and students just cram and write. But rather, we want our teachers to be able to design projects, project-based learning, to design projects that engage students in activities and in problem solving.
The provost, Esset, said this feat will position Enugu as a pace-setter in the education sector and commended the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, for partnering with the state government on the projects.
Other states can as well hire from the teachers that have already been trained here in the nearest future. We assure the state government and the TET Fund that everything will be intact. And with the partnership with the state government, they are going to save material and all the workers that will be working here. So everything is, the security is assured.
The center is a sustainability plan for the smart green schools initiated by the governor. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Women have been commissioned as agents of positive change to remain steadfast in their commitment to ensure that Nigeria is great again. Chimaroke Ugu reports that this message and other life-changing varieties were the take-home from the 2024 convention of the Women's Wing Christian Association of Nigeria, Enugu chapter, Wowican.
August is traditionally a month for women's gathering. It is a period when women from different organizations or groups they belong meet to retrospect on their journey and achievements and chart the way forward for their corporate and personal growth. For the Women Wing Christian Association of Nigeria Enugu chapter, What We Can, the 2024 convention tagged Be Still and Know That I Am God is a time to ponder on the Christian faith, their daily livelihood in consonance with God's word, especially in a time when survival in the country has become a Herculean task.
Despite the hardship, despite the situation, despite every circumstances of life, we should not depart from the word of God.
The guest speaker reminded Christian women of the need to hold God tenaciously and be guided by his words that Christians should maintain peace, which we see them through life's journey and tribulations.
When we show children good example, we are creating an environment of peace and serenity. And when we have an environment of peace and serenity in our home, it's going to affect the society at large.
There were clarion calls from individuals on the need for women as builders of the home to make peace their mantra for daily living.
My encouragement to them is to look unto God, look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, the one who said, peace be still, because he will not leave us nor forsake us.
If you have a woman that is stable in her spirit, a woman of peace, you'll discover that the house will be peaceful. And that peace will extend from that woman to the society, to the church, to everywhere she finds herself.
We love you.
Among the activities of the convention was the empowerment of 5 widows and awards of recognition on individuals who have represented the body of Christ well and contributed to the growth of what we can in the state. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
Taking a break here. When we return, rendezvous segment. Do join us again. Now, business of the day, rendezvous. Newly admitted students in Enugu State Polytechnic Iwolu have been tasked to embrace entrepreneurship skills, opportunities in the school environment besides academic activities to harness their potentials so as to become self-reliant at the end of their academic pursuit. The rector, Professor Nnamdi Nwankwo, gave the advice during the matriculation of students admitted in the 2022-2023 session. Uchenna Namili tells us more.
The 5th matriculation ceremony of Enugu State Polytechnic Iwolo combined 2 academic sessions, 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 academic session. The matriculation is to induct the new students into the Polytechnic, swear them on oaths of good behavior and allegiance, as well formally admit them into the Polytechnic as students with all the rights and obligations it entailed. In his speech, the rector, Professor Nnamdi Nwankwo, congratulated the newly admitted students for being among the lucky ones to secure admission into one of the fastest growing institutions in Nigeria. He disclosed that a total of 240 students were admitted for the 2 sessions. Professor Nwankwo admonished the students to be disciplined and law-abiding, stating that the institution has no room for any form of antisocial behavior. He stressed that the Polytechnic strives to ensure excellence and professionalism through partnership and running of accredited programs.
The skill acquisition that we are offering them, many of our youths don't value skill acquisition, and I'm asking them to humble themselves to learn trade. And when you learn trade, you will be somebody you can feed yourself tomorrow, whether you have employment by the government or companies or not.
The matriculation lecture delivered by Dr. Raymond Ezema dwelt on low student enrollment in polytechnics in Nigeria. Dr. Ezema said polytechnics contribute to the economic development of a region, attracting businesses and fostering economic growth. He advised the students to develop new ideas and start their own businesses.
Post-student enrollment in young polytechnic institutions in Nigeria like S-Poly can be attributed to several interrelated factors that may be external or institution-based. They include government policies and support, cultural and social influences.
Some students expressed their joy for being admitted into the institution.
Introduce more students to come to S-Poly. Practical have been going on in this school. Lecturers study and everything, activities are going on.
The oath taken by the students climaxed the ceremony.
That I shall not indulge in examination misconduct in any form.
That I shall not indulge in examination misconduct in any form.
The event featured cutting of matriculation cake.
Congratulations to the newly admitted students. We do hope to see you come out in flying colors. Cultural practices that infringe on the right of women, the girl child, and orphans to inheritance of estate or any other family property are obnoxious. This is the message of a non-governmental organization, Women and Orphans' Right to Family Asset Foundation, WOFAF, to the 2024 August gathering of the Anglican Union Women at the Emmanuel Church Cathedral, Umabi, in Udi Council area of Enugu State. Chido Kurafo reports.
Speaker after speaker, it was an echo of the fact that women's rights are human rights. From the right to live freely, right to education, to that to acquire and inherit property. The WOFAF team cited Nigeria's constitution and Supreme Court rulings as the basis for their crusade, which they say will guarantee a balanced society and enhance development.
To come to us, we will grant free legal aid services. And we also want to reach out to legal aids to also partner with us. We also want to reach out to governments and individuals who can also help in the sponsorship of our NGO as well.
WOFAF bemoans instances in which widows, spinsters, and orphans are excluded from family assets sharing, even when some of them contributed in acquiring such property, pointing out that it is both unlawful and unfair.
The organization is out to make sure that what is due to women in terms of family assets are given to them, so that nobody, because of her gender, will be denied of her rightful inheritance.
So WOFAF is here to tell the women to cry no more. WOFAF is here to tell the women that they have the right to buy properties, they have the right to their spouses' properties, they have the right to everything that the men can do.
Some participants at the conference who described the WOFAF initiative as bold step expressed their resolve to mobilize and defend their rights.
It's a thing of joy, at least for us to know that today, the women are supposed to have rights in their father's house.
Most of those women, the village women in the village, most of them, they are afraid to come and speak out. But for what they heard today, I believe by the special grace of God and with the help of others, they will be able to speak up and will know how to help them.
Women and Orphans' Right to Family Asset Foundation, WOFAF, is founded to encourage and support women, especially widows, the girl child, spinsters, orphans, and indigent members of the society to stand up for their rights to family assets ownership.
Abolishing obnoxious cultural practices is a collective responsibility. Together, we can change the society. Moving on, the beauty of culture came to the fore as the people of Ogbeke Nike community in Enugu East local government area joined their traditional ruler, His Royal Highness Igwe Dennis Ekete, to celebrate their New Yam Festival, Iya Yi. Chimaroke Ogu was at the festival and returned with the sight for Sunday Rendezvous. Take a look.
As the rain ends and harvest begins, Igbo people prepare for one of their most revered traditions, the New Yam Festival. Yam symbolizes life, prosperity, and identity for the Igbo people. The New Yam Festival marks the end of farming season and the beginning of harvest. The ARG Festival for the Ogbekenike community is a sign of thanksgiving to the gods for a bountiful harvest. The first yam is sacrificed, symbolizing gratitude for the earth's gift and to ensure continued blessings on their land.
Every year, we continue doing it to remember for the past years and thank God to give us life from August 2023 to August 2024.
As drums beat and the people dance, the village united in display of their rich cultural heritage to celebrate life, prosperity, and hope for the future. In happiness, they say the annual ritual connects them to their ancestors in the natural world.
Today we are celebrating our New Year's Festival, which we are doing once in a year. Today is a great day, it's a remarkable day in this community. Each time we celebrate the yam, we use it to thank the God of heaven, for giving us life again to celebrate the New Yam Festival, and to thank him for keeping us alive.
The celebration is a big thing. Our prayer to Ogbekenike is a long life, prosperity, and the unity.
By this time next year, I need to celebrate.
Next year, God better than this.
For the Igbos and Ogbekenike people, the New Yam Festival is more than food, but life itself.
The fascinating world of the New Yam Festival is a time of joy, unity, and gratitude for blessings of the harvest season. Invest more in your spiritual life rather than focusing on feeding and beautifying the flesh, as tomorrow is never promised. These were the lessons from the Dust to Dust ceremony of an ex-broadcaster, sports and political analyst, James Oprikocha of NTA, whose body was lowered at his country home, Azubo, Emekuku, Owerri, North Local Government Area, Imo State. A grand funeral that drew influential figures, notably popular Nollywood actors who shared his alma mater at Uniport. I was the eye of Rendezvous at the funeral and can tell you it was a real-life movie moment, a surreal experience. Let's take a look. A star-studded event in real life. The presence of the Nollywood actors, his alma mater classmate from Uniport Theatre Art, probably added to that dramatic feel. It was a comforting sight to see all those who valued and respected late James Oprikocha coming together from different industries, NUJ, men and women of value from all walks of life, and of course the NTA family to pay their last respect. How are you preparing for this day? Retreat and prepare yourself, because you cannot survive the days your destiny will capture if you don't have a strong connection with God. This was the message from the pulpit.
How are you preparing for that? Many of us don't prepare for things. With our health, which you don't appreciate, we do a lot of things. We prepare for everything. But really, do we remember that this day will come?
Goodness is the only investment that never fails, and service to humanity is the sole meaning of life, not only to be happy, but useful. honorable and compassionate to make a lasting impact that will speak for one after death. In this legacy left behind lies the strength of the bereaved family.
Words are not enough for me to describe my husband because he's just my everything. He's the husband of my youth.
He was an honest man. He always loved peace.
James is selfless in his service. In everything James does, he's first to God.
Described as a legend with a versatile talent, a true master of his crafts, juggling different roles effortlessly in the broadcasting and sports world, his ability to wear many hats in the industry truly set him apart, transitioning between roles as a reporter, producer, and presenting insightful political programs.
A journalist by excellence, a reporter, a seasoned reporter, a professional who gave his best.
We've been wonderful friends, only for me to meet him again in the year 2001 when I joined NTA. It was like a reunion.
In fact, he was a brilliant journalist, and he did us proud.
James started covering international competition because I was the one, and he's actually saying, okay, this person. And James, very vibrant, disciplined, hardworking.
James was a dogged fighter for what he believes is right.
Until his demise, James Oprekocha, the first son, was a manager news NTA Enugu Network Center, former NUJ chairman, head sponsorship and marketing Enyimba FC, and more. NTA headquarters was his preparatory ground. He died in active service at 56. His marriage is blessed with 3 children. Rest in peace, James, a man of many talent, and may God comfort all those left to mourn you, and of course the NTA family. The death of an aged person is more or less celebrated as the deceased is deemed to have lived a fulfilled life. Such is the case of a centenarian, late Ogbefi Thomas Madukwe Udeichi, who was laid to rest in his country home, Agolobele Ago Umana, in Ezagu local government area in Enugu State. Chido Korafo reports.
Late Ogbefi Thomas Madukwe Udeichi, who was a devoted Christian, an educationist known to have impacted people's life positively, died at the age of 100 years. Family members, friends, relations, community, and people from different walks of life gathered to give their last respect to the centenarian. Preaching in a funeral service held in his honor at Onwubudo Square, Agolo Obelago Omana, President Loris Ndubisi Anunta of the Church of Latter-day Saints, Enugu State, urged Christians to examine their lives as death awaits everyone.
It is not by our faith alone that we are justified. We are justified by our faith and our works. Our life did not start in the womb of our mothers, neither will it end at death, like that of our Deji. His corpse is lying in that coffin, but his life has not come to an end. It is only his mortal life that has come to an end.
Family of late Ogbefi Thomas Udeichi has this to say.
I can say he's my mentor, my facilitator, my everything as a lad. I was born an illiterate parents who know nothing about education. They could not even know the exact time I was born. But my brother told me in confidence that I was born in 1937.
And he was a great man.
He loved his family, loved friends, loved everybody, loved the community. He was of immense service to the people that were acquainted with him. In terms of education, he trained so many people. He sponsored them education and all of that. So he was a very generous man and liberal too.
My father was a great man. He loved education so much. He made sure that all of us in this family, including myself and my siblings, that we were all educated, and he ensured that other members of the Dechi family are also educated. So he's wonderful. He's someone that cherished family. He was a great father and grandfather to all of us in this family.
The deceased, Ogbuefi Thomas Madukwe Odechi, was later interred at his compound, Umuegu Agolo, Omana. He is survived by his wife, children, grandchildren, and a host of others. Entertainment followed after the interment.
On that note, we call it a day on Rendezvous tonight. Many thanks for being there. Let's do it again same time next week. Good night.
When comfort and luxurious relaxation is your desire, Maybash Hotels and Resorts is a place to be. A home away from home that treats you like a